This is TransWarp Drive. I am Anna Hudak. TransWarp Drive is a series of articles written by yours truly. This is the audio version of those for those who prefer to listen rather than read. If you prefer to read, though, check the show notes for a link to the article on either Review or Substack. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy. Today's reading is the Substack article, Big Changes Are Coming to TransWarp Drive. Enjoy. Everyone, big things are happening to TransWarp Drive, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for these 5 things. I promise that I will keep this short and not take much of your time. So, let's get started. We are introducing another blog to the family that is a part of your subscription, though you can unsubscribe from it and still get TransWarp Drive articles. Click here to learn how to do that, or if you're listening to the podcast version, link is in the show notes. The blog is named The Arcanium. It is a fantasy blog and podcast by yours truly. It's basically TransWarp Drive, but fantasy instead of science fiction. Since the two genres go hand in hand, and I already read and watch so much fantasy, I decided to go ahead and start blogging about it as well. The second thing to know is that since TransWarp Drive and The Arcanium are part of the same subscription, the name of the blog is changing. Well, the name of the site, that is. The two blogs are being hosted on the same site. The blogs will have individual names, but the site they're on together will have a new name, meaning you'll be seeing a different name in your email inboxes, different email header banners, etc. The new name for the site that connects these two blogs is Red Culture Entertainment. Over the next day or so, expect to see everything get changed over on Substack, Patreon, Locals, Subscribestar, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, and Discord. So please be in mind of these changes when you get an email from Red Culture Entertainment. The third thing to know is that the TransWarp Drive podcast is now being hosted by Substack. Each article will come with a podcast version of it. This applies retroactively, meaning I have deleted the original versions of the blog articles and replaced them with podcast versions. Note, you will still be able to read the blog articles. This is still primarily a blog rather than podcast, and more people read than listen. This is just a way to consolidate the audio and written versions of my articles so there aren't duplicate versions being posted on the site. So you get both the podcast version and the written version in one post now. The fourth thing is that I am giving up on my main blog, Ramblings of a Trans Woman, and focusing all my energy on this. This means I have more time to read, watch, listen, etc. to fantasy and science fiction media, so I can spend more time writing articles and hopefully getting articles out more consistently in the future. The fifth thing is that I am giving up on review. There will no longer be a review version of TransWarp Drive. Substack is the main platform for Red Culture Entertainment going forward. That said, there are other ways you can read or listen. Subscribestar or Patreon are the best places to go if you only want the podcast versions of the blog. Locals is where to go if you only want the written versions of my articles. YouTube and Rumble will continue to host free versions of my podcasts, along with whatever your favorite podcast app is, of course. Anyway, thank you all for reading. Be sure to also check out my Discord server for Red Culture Entertainment, which is devoted to building a community of those who love science fiction and fantasy. If you enjoyed what you read, please subscribe and share this with others. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider supporting us on Substack or one of the other platforms we are on, and sharing this with your family and friends. Thank you all for listening. Have a great day. Peace.